So the name of my research article is called Effect of Energy Drink and Caffeinated Beverage Consumption on Sleep, Mood, and Performance in Children and Adolescents. As the availability of highly caffeinated products such as energy drinks has increased, exposure to these beverages in the pediatric population has also risen. Moreover, there is an increasing trend for these products to be consumed by older children and adolescents, both for their perceived role as a countermeasure to sleepiness and fatigue, and for their alleged positive effect on mood and performance. So basically, why older children and adolescents are going to be taking these are for sleep, for energy, since some teens pull up all-nighters or don't end up not sleeping in the night because they have to catch up on something or something like that. Usually in the morning, teenagers would grab a caffeinated drink in the morning to stay awake during the school day. In addition, the sources of information available to youth about the positive effects of caffeine use are often linked to marketing campaigns for specific beverages, and thus do not include mention of potential risks related to early and or excessive consumption. Caffeine consumption in youth, knowledge, and attitudes. Recent data suggests that energy drinks consumption is on the rise, then doubling in children aged 2 to 11 years, from 3% in 2000 to 7% in 2008. In the same study, the prevalence of sports energy drink consumption in adolescents has tripled, from 4% to 12%. It should be noted, however, that most of the previous studies examining caffeine consumption by children and adolescents were largely focused on coffee drinks and carbonated caffeinated beverages. For example, while the 2004 National Sleep Foundation Sleep in America poll found that 18% of preschoolers, 33% of old school-aged children, and 20% of younger school-aged children consumed greater than one serving of caffeinated beverages per day, energy drink consumption was not reported separately. The results of the 2006 National Sleep Foundation poll in adolescents found that 35% of high school students consumed at least 2 servings of caffeinated beverages per day, with a higher percentage observed among minority adolescents and those from low-income families. However, the poll also did not examine energy drink consumption independently. The reason for teens to be drinking caffeinated beverages twice a day, piggybacking back to what I was saying about sleeping all night, if the kid or the teenager doesn't have time to sleep during the night, they have to take a caffeinated beverage to keep them up all night. And going into the morning, again, take that caffeinated beverage to get through the school day. Caffeine and performance. While caffeine use, especially in adolescents, appears to be increasingly targeted towards both improving performance and mood and mitigating the effects of chronic insufficient sleep, the evidence that consumption of highly caffeinated beverages actually enhances performances or reserves sleepiness in the pediatric population is slim. With regard to performance enhancement, lab studies in adults often show improvement in attention and psychomotor skills, but more mixed efforts on short and long-term memory and complex cognitive functions. Studies examining the effect of energy drinks on performance specifically in young adults have demonstrated decreased reaction time, increased subjective alertness, improvements in memory and concentration, and increased aerobic and anaerobic endurance, although not all studies have found positive effects on psychomotor function. While they're saying this, they're saying adults have shown improvement in psychomotor skills, examples, reaction time, staying focused, but more of it has gone to the short and long-term memory and cognitive functions.